All right, Lee and Laura. I just want to start off by just talking about suction mirrors in general, because I find that very surprising that so many hygienists haven't even heard of a suction mirror, period. Like I'll post something on a Facebook group or something, and they're like, "Suction mirror? That's awesome. What's that?" So can you just kind of talk about what a suction mirror is in general, and then we'll talk about your product and how it compares to the other ones.
Essentially, a suction mirror is a high volume, well, for the most part, high volume evacuator that has a mirror attached to it. The concept is not new to the market, but it is very new, like you mentioned, to a lot of hygienists. It's essentially combining two tasks into one.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows you to utilize a suction source and use indirect vision as well.
Mm-hmm. And what are the benefits basically in general? I mean, you already kind of mentioned some, but I know like compared to like the saliva ejector, which to me is probably the worst thing to use with the Cavitron or something like that.
Yeah.
So what's the benefits compared to like something like that?
The suction mirror generally allows you to eliminate your secondary tasks that we can struggle with patient management, and being able to get to the areas that we need to scale with ease. Trying to juggle a dental mirror and a suction device at the same time can be really challenging. So essentially, I combine the two, and with a focus, because I still work clinically as a hygienist about 30 hours a week, and I feel that it was a necessary device to help increase my accuracy when I'm ultrasonic scaling. It gave me a chance to see things that I could never see before. And my patients also love it too, because I'm able to get in, get my work done, and get out.
Can I add something to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Laura.
Yeah.
Hi. One of the things that I think has really helped as far as benefits for me is, I had a background in dental assisting, so I'm real comfortable with a high vac, but it really made it much more ergonomic to hold, which I don't have a problem holding a high vac like a lot of hygienists do, but it made it real easy for me to go in and place sealants and place limited restorations, like sometimes my dentist has me do class 5s in the back, and it's really great because I can stick it back in there and I really have good control of everything because he doesn't give me an assistant to work with me. So it's helped me to manage these tough procedures and tough patients, single-handedly.
And I would say it's not even just for hygienists. I know some of the assistants that I work with, they've tried it, and they're just like retracting for the dentist while they're doing their thing. So it's not just for hygienists, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It does provide a broader surface area to retract with, due to the shape of the instrument itself. And because it has holes on the suction ports on the front and back, it really helps increase the volume of suction in the area that, if the dentist is working in a particularly hard patient that has a thick tongue or thick cheeks, it really helps retract, and it's a lot more comfortable for the assistant to hold on to than trying to manage a single high vac piece of equipment by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I've been using suction mirrors for a while, Lee. As you know, I've used some of the competing products, and I got yours a couple of months ago, and it's definitely the best one, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, it's definitely nice to have as a hygienist. And for me, the big difference is, I mean, we'll get into it in a few seconds, but the big difference is just having yours connected to the HVE, and you get a lot of power out of that. Talk about that a little bit, Lee.
One of the limitations with when I was building prototypes for this device is that I realized that having high volume and having the airflow balance was critical. because I noticed that in building these prototypes, I real quickly realized that during certain times of retraction and areas that I was working in, that the volume would either decrease or increase, and so I paid particular attention and focus to that to maximize the highest amount of volume that I could. I had to build some special equipment to measure the airflow, to test whether or not it was actually the changes I was making were making the correct advancements in this product. So.
Very good. Yeah, I'm gonna do a product review on the 3 that I've used next week. I'll be posting next week. I did a bunch of videos yesterday at work and took a bunch of photos. And you already mentioned, Lee, but the biggest advantage is having the suction on the face of the mirror, because the other ones, you know, basically, like say you're doing like the upper molars, and you push the back of that mirror against the tissue, it stops suctioning pretty much. You have to kind of like move it a lot, and so that's for me is a huge advantage. Plus, you're getting the clearance, so you got debris on the mirror, and it's cleaning off that debris with it because of that strong suction. So
yeah,
go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, and only a hygienist that would work firsthand in this situation would understand that. And I realized there are other products on the market, and I quickly saw that the advantage that that my design has.
Mm-hmm. You know, and for me, Lee, as you know, I use the ice light a lot, but for me, I still use a suction mirror because the like getting around the second molars, sometimes the isolight's tight back there and it's tough to get back there. Mm-hmm. Also with patients that don't have too much, they have like the typical calculus on the linguals, like that's like perfect for that. So I don't bust out the isolite for that. I just use the suction mirror, you know, for that. It's ideal for that. As far as training goes, how long do you think it takes to kind of pick this up, like to use a suction mirror for the first time and all that?
The way I liken it to is I have to think back when we first started driving cars, and you remember what it was like to, you know, step on the gas pedal and steer it. And then for those of us that learned how to use a stick shift, that was one more thing we had to do. And I think a suction mirror is a lot like learning tasks similar to driving, is that some people can pick it up pretty quick, and other people it takes a little while. And I think for a lot of hygienists, I believe that some pick it up within a few days, and yet others that have a lot of experience, it might take them 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then once they get it, and once their left hand is trained, or right hand, depending on which hand you use, once you have that, then it's there's really no turning back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I want to get into the development of the product, Lee, because you have a pretty cool story. Because I came across that CNC machine you bought, and they had your story on there, and I kind of got the background a little bit. Can you just talk about where the idea came from in the first place? Were you struggling with a different product, a different suction mirror, or?
Actually, my whole approach to this product was probably different than what most people would think. I had a difficult patient that was an elderly gentleman, and he had a great big mustache and beard, a very thick tongue, very nice man, and he was struggling with keeping his teeth clean. And no other hygienist in the office wanted to work on him because he was so difficult. And so he ended up in my chair, and I really liked the guy, and I struggled myself with. I tried everything. I tried using high volume equipment. I tried, you know, traction. I even had an assistant come in and try to retract his tongue, and just nothing would work. And I remember going home at night that night, and I just, you know, this patient of mine, I just had a big heart for him, and I believe that God placed it in my heart to come up with this device, and it just came like a download to me. And I thought, hey, why not just combine? All I need is something very strong, and I need something with high volume. And so I came home, and I bent a piece of copper pipe around a suction mirror. I don't know whether you can see this.
I can kind of see it, yeah.
Yeah, but that's essentially the very first prototype. It was nothing more than a dental mirror with a piece of copper tubing wrapped around it, and I punched some holes in it. And sure, I tried that. That worked, but it needed more to it, and so that's how it all basically got started. And then it was put in my heart that way, and I never stopped. I never turned around. I thought, I kept advancing and moving forward and making different prototypes and trying this and trying that and changing this and changing that. All those little subtleties that only a hygienist would know by working with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you basically learned CNC machining and CAD and all that. I tried to learn CAD on my own myself, and I gave up pretty quickly. I was like, it's gonna take me too long, so I just paid somebody to do it. But can you talk about that, like the whole, doing it yourself basically, which is crazy, I think.
Yeah, I honestly, if I just feel that there's a lot of things that I don't know how to do, and I'm not anything great. I'm just maybe a little more persistent than some. Sure, I struggled with a lot of things. I tried hiring a machine shop to help me out with this product, and they directly told me that some of these things could not be done, and I just refused to accept that. I refused to accept that, and I thought, you know what? If one person has done this before, I certainly can. So I just simply bought a CAD program and just was diligent. You and I both went through hygiene school. You know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of treated it the same way. I just thought, this is just a means to get to where I need to. And so I started from the very beginning and drew the product on a 3D CAD program. And once I had the drawing where I liked it, then in the next step, of course, was to try to transfer that drawing into a real product. And then I decided that in working with this machine shop, the communication issues that I had with them. It was, number one, it was very costly. Number two, it was very hard for me to, even though I had drawings and everything, try to get them to do exactly what the drawings were on there, and it was just taking too much time and costing way too much money. I said, no, there's got to be a better way. And so I thought, I'm just gonna take a step of faith here and just go out and buy a CNC mill, and I'm just gonna teach myself. Sure, I may not know everything, but I go in and I just try, and I feel I get help that way, and so far it's worked for me.
Yeah, I had the same struggle. When contacting manufacturers, like the vast majority, I didn't get a response from. Some said, well, we can do this, but we can't do that. We can machine, but we can't braze. You know what I'm saying? So it was such a struggle, and the original company that I used, their customer service has been awful for the last few years, and it's so annoying, And then I finally found a good company in Michigan, but so I'm glad for them. But yeah, it's just a pain. I mean, they're trying to rely on other people to deliver. It's just annoying.
It's a shared frustration, for sure, and I have had many challenges, and I'm sure I'll have a few more ahead of me. But it's finally coming to a point where we can just basically hit the cruise control and go. So I have my vendors that I get my raw materials from, and I have backups for those. My supply chain is set up, and so I'm able to sit down and do what I need to do, and be in control of that. And sure, it's a little bit of extra work. Don't get me wrong. A lot of times I work 12 to 14-hour days. I'll get up and I'll work in my machine shop in the morning, and then I'll go to work hygiene from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. And It's a great balance for right now. I don't know that I can continue doing that, but it definitely gives me a chance to step away from what it is I'm trying to achieve in the business end, and get reconnected with the patients, because that's really where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah. Can you discuss the name change a little bit, Lee? Because I know people are going to be Googling it and finding Hammerhead and maybe be confused. I'm going to mention it in my product review, so they'll get that. But can you just talk about why you guys changed the name?
We originally had launched the product and just kind of randomly picked a name, and we realized as time went on that our name was similar to some other products, and just to avoid future confusion, we had to take this step and get it to the point where people recognize our product and that there are no other names similar to ours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an issue with Google too. Yeah, if you Google something that's popular, then I think it's all mashed up, right, with a name, and you don't want that.
Yeah. So in something that you could look at is that people think of Delta. You say Delta, and they think of Delta Airlines, but there's also Delta faucets. Faucets. So they're two completely different fields, but they share the same name. So that's probably less confusing to people than being in a medical or dental profession and having an instrument that is named similar to something else. So I think that early on we probably should have taken a harder look at that, but it's a name. Yeah, it would have been great to keep it, but we decided on making a name change for now, just to prevent any future confusion.
Where did the name New Bird come from? Where's that from?
Basically, Laura, I have to give her credit for this. She always, I could hear her talking on the phone to customers, and we're trying to explain the issue of using a high volume and suction mirror together, and trying to relay that, and she would always say, "This is a whole new bird," and it's a phrase that I honestly don't know where it came from, but it just fit. And so we decided, you know what, it is a whole new bird.
Yeah.
We decided, well, let's just go with that.
It is. It's like a whole new species of instrument.
It is.
And so you try to tell people what it is, and they think, well, oh, is it a suction? Oh, it's a mirror. Oh, it's a retract. Well, you mean it does all this? I mean, they can't put it together. So right. I'm like, yeah, this is a new mutant, species here.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good name. I like the name. It's going to work, I think. Yeah. Can you guys talk about the marketing? How you guys market the product now? You got the website, you got Facebook page, right? You guys go to the trade shows and all that.
Yeah, I'll let Laura answer that.
Okay.
At some point, I had to draw a line in between the CAD drawing and the CAM programming and the CNC machining, and I let her answer that question for you.
Well, okay, we've tried, starting out with doing trade shows, which we found we got a great response, so that was really encouraging to us. We had a lot of interest from everybody, and our booth was swarmed, just time and time again. So, I mean, we've done really well, but it also at the same time is very costly for us to fly, to different places in the U.S. and do these shows. So, I mean, we're still just a small company. So, we didn't want it eating up our whole budget for the year. So we decided, well, now we just got a new website and branding, gone through that whole process, and now we're just kind of focusing on more internet and our website to do our marketing, and we're just now launching all of that. Our website hasn't gone live since, it just started in November.
Yep.
So we're like starting over again, but I'm really foreseeing this year, just because of what the time we've been out, we've had such a great response from schools and other professionals and educators, that I foresee this year is going to be a very good year.
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed over the years is that so many companies, and I don't know why this is, but they don't have good pictures and videos of their product, which is so cheap. I mean, you can use an iPhone if
Yeah.
you really had to. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I did.
that was us. That was us. So I paid a professional.
Yeah. But just that alone, I mean, just having videos and pictures, you're like ahead. I mean, like top 5% already, you know?
Yeah, it is a challenge to get some of the video that you may have seen. Um, it was so frustrating as a hygienist. I could see it through my dental telescopes. I could
Right.
see everything. It was like, how do I connect this without using a microscope with the feed? You know, it was difficult to get some of that.
Yeah, I use my iPhone 4 right now.
iPhone works good.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not bad actually, but I want to get an iPhone 6, and I used one of the assistants iPhone 6 at work just to compare it. It's like night and day. I'm like, so
They
I
do
have to
really.
Oh, wow.
I have to get one so just for better videos and stuff. But it's not bad with iPhone 4 though. I attached the phone to the overhead light and I just put it close to the patient's face. You
Oh,
know?
there you go.
Yeah.
It
I,
kind of
I had
works.
I had a Sony Handycam camera, and I built a device that connects to my dental loops, and it actually sits on top of my head.
Yeah,
I was
right.
able to triangulate it. So I mean, it brought in some really good video. A little cumbersome, a little hard on my neck, but I was
He
that's
looked like the Borg.
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do. You know, it's like
Yeah, because I priced one of those loop cameras. They're super expensive. Have you
oh
seen?
really?
I think Surgitel, one of those companies, they make like a loop, but it's like it's crazy expensive. Like
Yeah.
if you attach dental to a camera, all of a sudden it's like 5 grand, you know?
Oh
Yeah,
boy, yeah.
they have too much money. But have you guys tried magazine ads? I priced those, and those are pretty expensive. I was like,
Magazine ads are really expensive, but we've been fortunate that we've had quite a few magazines that have done free press
yeah, I've
releases.
seen that. Yeah.
And from that, I can tell which magazines generate the most interest and sales.
Hmm.
And so that's been good because it's kind of a good way to test the waters to see which one is going to bring the most, return on
Yeah,
your
bang for
investment.
the buck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the price, Lee. I know I'll talk about a little bit from an outsider. I know people always balk at things that are more expensive than other products, but I see your product as a very long-term investment because you can replace the mirror head, which is a huge thing because with the other mirrors, once you scratch them, that's it, it's over. So people are gonna say, oh, it's definitely more money, but and I'll mention this in the product review, but long term, it's not that much if you look at it. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, I believe that there really is no quantity there's no substitute for quality.
Hmm.
Okay, so quantity having a large amount of something doesn't substitute for quality and performance. And so, with that being said, that can eliminate a lot of products. Just like you said, you go to retract the buccal cheek, and that shuts nearly all other devices down. So what's the point?
Right. Yeah.
So the manufacturing end of it, it's expensive for me. We believe our product is uh, priced right where it needs to be.
Hmm.
And if you compare other products, even if you went to disposable products, you can see that if you use those devices, it might cost anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000
Right. Right.
a year versus a device like ours that has a replaceable mirror face that you can quickly see that this will not only outperform but will save them money down the road. We do have another product that we've launched this year. It's a resin, a polymer resin version. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great product. The features of it are nearly exactly the same as the stainless, with the exception that we're not offering that one for the mirror face replacement. So the way I see it is that this suction mirror will actually it's sterilizable. It will last probably longer than a Cavitron tip. And so if you compare Cavitron tip or ultrasonic tip to a suction mirror, ours is actually priced less than a ultrasonic tip. And if you take care of it, it may last even longer than that.
Right. Yeah, I mean the actual quality, just from me using it, I mean you can tell right away. Like the other mirrors that I use, and your mirror is just, it's like the Mercedes of dental suction mirrors. I mean that's how I look at it.
Thank you. That's what
I'm always saying that.
Laura's always telling me that, and because I'm the one making it, I just I'm too close to it. I don't see it. So
you can tell from the quality just from holding it. It's like any product out in the world. You can tell that it's made well. Right, compared to the other ones, but.
Thank you.
Because the other mirrors that I use, I've had, well, I don't use them anymore, but the disposable ones, it's one-time use, they're gone. The other one that I can autoclave, like I had one, like the mirror head broke off, and then they get scratched up and you can't see as well after a while. But so, let's see. Do you guys offer like school discounts or any kind of bulk or discount or anything like that?
What we're doing right now is we are offering school pricing for all schools, dental schools that want included into their instrument issue. We have special wholesale pricing for that. And then we usually run 2 specials a year, usually one during the time when we do the convention, and then one towards the end of the year, Black Friday. Right. We usually have a pretty good one there, and for everybody.
And we have been known to give away product too for some hygienists that that may call us up, and we understand a little bit about their situation. We have been known to just bless somebody with a handful of them and just send it to them as a surprise. So
that's nice of you. Yeah. Are you guys in the schools doing like any presentations or demos, that kind of thing?
Actually, we're doing one next week for a school back east, and we are in 3 other schools, a couple in Canada and 2 here in the U.S. So
I'm one of those crazy hygienists that buys their own things, and I always encourage hygienists to buy stuff. Like, don't wait. I mean, obviously, if your employer is willing to pay for these things, that's great. But if they're not, I always encourage hygienists to buy their own instruments and things, because I mean, to me, there's no reason to suffer. It's not that much to buy on your own.
This is so true, and I have I understand this, just like you. I feel that I have a responsibility to ergonomically take care of myself. I can't place that onto someone else to take care of me. So when it comes to dental loops, light for my loops, whatever it takes to have the right instruments to get the job done, and I think that that's important to take responsibility for that right at the beginning.
I want to say one thing. One hygienist, she bought our mirrors, and she got really used to using them all the time, and ended up her dentist sold the practice, and she got she changed jobs, and so the dentist would not let her take the suction mirrors with her. She wanted to buy them. And so she had to go to her new job with no suction mirrors, and she was in a dilemma, and she was just having a hard time. And her patient, one of her patients, followed her there to her new job, and the patient bought her a set of mirrors so she could use them on her, because she had the money at the time, and the dentist wouldn't buy them for her. And so the patient says, "I like you using those on me so much, I'm just going to buy you a set," and she did. Now she's equipped; she can take them with her wherever she goes. And so that's big, because if you're a mobile hygienist or you work in different offices, you got something that's ergonomic that you can count on. If you're in a situation where you can't reach around to the patient, and you're going to hurt yourself. And it's really nice to have that to back up on and help take care of you.
I think for dentists too, I think that mirror is probably the best thing you can use. Like, say, like dental students, especially, they got stuck by themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's probably the best thing to use for if you're gonna prep like upper molar. There's nothing because you have that direct, well, indirect vision, but you can see what you're doing. Plus, you have the suction mirror clearing your view, which is there's nothing better than that, I don't think. But
they use it a lot now. I'm seeing for laser.
yes.
Soft tissue. I know hard tissue. There's no mirror in the world that's going to not get debris on it. It's impossible. But as far as everything else with indirect viewing with loops and doing laser, it really helps keep things clear so they can see fine to do that close-up laser surgery.
Very nice. So you guys still both working clinical? Laura, you too, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many hours do you work, Laura?
I work about 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week, yeah. Is your goal to work like 5 or 8? That's my goal.
Yes.
Like one day a week is what I want. But.
One day a week. I always want to keep my foot in the door, but
yeah, so do I.
one day would be enough.
Yeah.
You can get more credibility if you're an actual working hygienist from your customers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
During the conventions and the conventions when I'm up demonstrating my product, a lot of the hygienists kind of, they don't understand until I tell them. I said, hey, I'm a hygienist and I still work. And then all of a sudden it clicks to them. It's like they look at me weird, like, really?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I do. I still do. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so many patients call me doctor, and I correct them. I'm the hygienist, and they call me doctor 5 minutes later. I just give up. I just answer the doctor now.
Yeah.
Give up. Did you guys meet in hygiene school, or no?
No.
No.
I was a dental assistant, and we met actually through a dating service.
Very good.
And so he was a welder at the time. He worked in aerospace tooling, and came in and saw the office and liked the dental environment and decided he wanted to go to school and be a hygienist. And so it all started right after we got married, and he went right to school.
I met my wife in hygiene school. We're both hygienists too. So it's
that's great.
It's kind of an odd, right? It's not normal to see hygienists married, I guess. I don't know.
She understands you, and you understand her.
Yeah, so she has somebody to complain about patients and whatnot.
We get a lot of shop talk too, but you know what? Being married as hygienists, I think it makes us better. We can bounce ideas off of each other and help each other in a lot of ways, and so we have a unique opportunity.
All right, so one last thing, guys. Do you have any advice for any hygienists out there that might be thinking about bringing a product to the market? Anything? I always tell them to, it's going to be stressful and, and scary.
Yeah, it's, I believe that ideas get placed in our hearts to do, and these ideas. They should be researched and followed through with. It does take some perseverance, a little bit of planning. There are really no how-to books to do that. But I think if the motive is right, if you're there to really help as well with your product, Mark, to the product that helps clinicians and helps patients. I think if the motive is right, how can you fail? How can you fail if you just push and persevere?
Yeah. It's just a step-by-step process. You don't do it all overnight or even in a year or two. It takes way longer than you would imagine, but the key is to just keep moving forward. Take that next step. And that's what we had to do, is just kind of focus on, well, what is our next step here? And keep taking it like that, and then pretty soon you look back and go, wow, look where we are.
Yeah, I always say there's going to be failures, guaranteed. You're going to fail. Things are going to, go wrong. That's for sure. But you just have to figure it out and keep moving.
Yeah, just don't quit.
Yeah.
For me, it was more of a scientific process. You're right. Yeah, there are failures, but it's I looked at it as an opportunity to look for what went wrong and what could I do to change that. And yes, I do get quite tired with the whole process. But we're there now, and like I said, we're pretty much hitting the cruise control and moving forward. I have other products that I'm working on. And I'm more careful about the ones that I select and how I go about it. I would say just do the research, see if there are any other products out there on the market like that. Definitely make sure that if you pick a name, make sure that that it's pretty much unused, and just go forward with it.
Exactly. I'm a big proponent of using power scaling. Like I'm like 90%. I don't like the hand scale. And, right. My wife loves the hand scale. We always debate about that. And to me, it just makes sense to power scale. So having a good device, I mean, whatever it is, it just makes it a lot easier, so you don't drown your patient, basically. So.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. Do you have anything you want to just throw out there that we didn't talk about? The end, anything? Throughout the website?
I think we have it pretty much all on the website. We are going to be bringing some new products to market in the near future, but so follow us, and you'll see some new things unfold that's going to help hygienists again in the future.
Yep.
Are they going to be like evacuation type products or something different?
Yes.
Well, it's I liken it to the days back when you had the old manual typewriter versus a PC or Mac. It's going to revolutionize a few things here.
Yeah,
I can't elaborate on it, but I'm really excited about it because I know that it's this one is definitely an issue that's being addressed, and
it's going to make the old way obsolete.
Very good. Well, that'd be great. I'll have you guys back on and talk about that too. Talk about that. All right. So the website is it's nu-bird.com, right?
Yep.
All right. And I'll have all the links on the blog post once I post this. So next week, probably Sunday or Monday, I'll have the product review posted. And then I'll post this the week after, so it'll be kind of together. That sound good? Yeah.
That would be great.
Okay, that'd be great, Mark.
Yeah. And you guys can use the content however you want. You can chop it up, share it, whatever you want to do.
Really? Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good weekend. I have to go shovel snow now. So.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It'll be over soon.
Yeah, well, hopefully. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.